I started to record it.
All right. Hello, Ada.
Hello, Philip.
Nice to see you again. It's a long time ago in these times.
True. Actually, there are years.
Ada,
No.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, but at least COVID time is half a year, and then, I mean, last time was maybe in Cameroon. That's at least 1.5 years ago or something.
I think we met exactly 1 year ago.
Something like this, or maybe 2 years. I'm not sure. Yeah. But Ada, can you tell me can you tell me first tell me your last name and where you're from?
Yes, my last name is quite long. It's Janowska Moniuszko. And I'm from Poland. I was born in Warsaw. Now I live in Szczecin in Poland.
And what do you do for a living?
I work as an actress in the theater.
Yeah, in theater. Okay, what kind of theater is that?
Well, it's called contemporary theater. So
Yeah.
we do different things. We do dramas and comedies and some new plays also.
And how do you do that at the moment in these COVID times?
Until now, we are still working because we are in the yellow zone. Our city is in the yellow zone, so theater still can work. But if we will go to the red zone, they will close it. So then we will have to actually try to find some other way of earning. I'm very fortunate because being in a theater and being employee of the theater, I have like a base salary, which is each month, even if we are not having performances, we get some little amount, like minimum, but we don't earn from the performances. So during this close up, I will try to find some work this time, because before I was.
So is that before you were what?
Before
Come
I was
again?
sitting at home and reading and watching things and cleaning and cooking.
Yeah.
Trying to find some other.
Try to survive.
Yes.
So I mean, is it a private theater or is it's a state? How does it function?
State theater.
What?
State theater.
It's a private one?
No, it's a state.
No, it's from the state. A state. Okay, I couldn't hear it. Okay. Okay, interesting. So, but how many can come to a show like that? I mean, how many are you allowed to come to?
Well, now it's 25% of the audience, and we have around 300 something, 400 something. So it's like I don't know, 50 people.
So do they sit apart, or how does it function? Do they sit? Do they need a mask, or how does it function in Poland?
You have some how to say that. You have to sign some papers before you.
Yeah.
Like confirm
that you're not sick and.
Then probably they measure your temperature, as far as I know, also.
Okay.
Then
the forehead.
Decided, like you can, if you're a couple or family, you can sit together, but
you
have to.
And everybody wears a mask, or how is it?
It's funny in the beginning.
Yeah, it must be so funny.
For people who were supposed to laugh, but you see only this.
Yeah. But how does that function for you as an actor? Because you want also, I mean, you need feedback, don't you? I mean, to interact with people.
In the beginning, it was strange because it was like, you don't see reactions, and actually it influences people. Like they're more quiet, they're laughing less, they're talking less, of course, too.
Yeah.
Like audience is much more quiet, but then we get used to it, and sometimes, of course, people just take them off, the masks off, and slowly they give some more reactions. So we are getting used to it.
But how are Polish? I've been in Poland many times teaching this women's self-defense and things like this. But how? I mean, I always see that the Polish people, at least when you know them, they are always coming together. They're very engaging and sharing things, and this whole Slavic way of sharing things. Yeah? In Denmark, you hold your own beer. This is my beer. But in the Polish, they are like sharing things and picnic. And so, how is that normally functioning on the theater? How are people like that? The same way, or?
Well, maybe it's a secret, and I'm not supposed to tell it. But when nobody sees us, we behave normally in the theater. We don't wear masks during the rehearsals, and we just. But maybe it will change because we have some cases of like family of our friends a family of our workers.
Yeah.
Had some cases, so now it will probably change. So.
Yeah. But what about the audience? I was thinking about the audience. Do they interact with you as an actor, or do they? I mean, normally when they don't wear a mask, how is that functioning? As I mean, the Polish people in general.
Well, actually, probably a little bit depends on the performance, because there are some comedies which make people laugh, and then they
Yeah.
a lot. And sometimes they even, but even now we are playing this kind of, it's very long play. It's also very funny, but the meaning is serious. So sometimes we got even a comment like, "Oh my God," like this. Somebody
Really? Yeah.
expressed himself.
Yeah.
So it depends. They're laughing. Sometimes they're saying something loud. And yeah.
I was just curious. You said it already that you had to get used to it. So just wondering. I was just trying to magnify how the Polish audience normally and how are they now? Is it a big difference? I mean, the mask does something, but how do they express themselves? Is that also a big difference, or do you just see the mask as a difference?
Well, first of all, we see the mask as a difference because the faces are like more unknown, like
Yeah.
different people. And now you see like unified, some group of unique people first. So this is different, and I think from my experience, the masks also are a little bit stopping people from reactions. Like because you are like this,
Oh yeah.
less. So, for example, they want to start to react on the performances. So the first performances were was the big difference. We're like, oh my God, they are not reacting at all. But now we are getting used to it, to the silence, and
Yeah.
are more, I don't know, more open each performance.
It's interesting because it's not in our culture. I've been in Japan, I mean, 15 times, right? And it's normal people have masks if they're a little sick, so they take care of others. So they wear the mask in the shops and the trains or whatever, and just walk on the street. So I got used to that over the years, but by the beginning I was like, whoa, that's strange, yeah. But but people doing in our country having a mask is like, whoa, that's strange. Now here's strange. But it's interesting how quickly we get used to it, and but it's interesting also to see over time what does it do to our communication. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting, yeah. Because in Japan, I mean, they still communicate with the eyes or the movement. They nod, and you can still see a contact. Yeah. Anyway, they're very reserved. But I'm quite curious how this will change our communication in general. We'll do elbows and or fist bumps. I don't know. It's interesting. But you also told me something else. I mean, before you told me that you were also doing something virtual. That is that when you train, or how do you transcend in this time? I mean, your theater is open, but you told me just before that you're actually doing something on Zoom. What is that? Can you explain that?
We did several things. First thing we did
Yeah.
is strict quarantine, when we are not supposed to even go out more far from
Ah.
the shop. Then we did we do improv show. It's like an improvised comedy show, and we did it on Zoom. And it
Oh wow. With
turned,
audience or what?
yeah.
Or just training?
So
Really?
many worries. How would we function? Because we don't have a contact. It's difficult. We don't hear people laughing and clapping and saying inspirations, because actually our scenes are depending on their inspirations. So without that, we are nothing. But it worked very well. We did several shows. I don't remember how many, 6 or something like that, 5 or 6, and it were very.
How? Why? Do you know why?
Huh?
But you know why? Why did it work well? Well, how come did it work well? Do you know why?
Maybe, I don't know. For me, it was quite comfortable because I was at my home, just with the camera, and I felt completely relaxed.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
Stressed out because we were
yeah.
thinking about this technology stuff, but like in the end, I was very relaxed during the shows. And also people were surprising because they were much more open, far more open, and like sometimes their inspirations, because they were typing inspirations and sending us
Ah,
messages, and sometimes
interesting.
so crazy that we are like giving advice to go to the psychiatrist because you're like crazy. Then when
Oh, wow.
we do it live, people are more, they don't say
Yeah.
weird things. So it was very nice. And the second thing we did, it was like normal rehearsals from our theater. And this is quite difficult because we are trying to communicate somehow through this stuff, but it's not the same. When we meet in person later, it reveals that, like, it turns out that we have completely different feeling between each other than during this online things, because when you're online you more create like your own, I don't know, imagination of the partner. You don't feel him or her so well
Oh, yeah.
in life. So first play when we were rehearsing online, and then when we met we changed so many things. It was like we changed almost everything.
So you get creative in a different way, right?
Yeah, this is different. Yeah, it's different. So
It is interesting, but yeah, okay, let me hear.
the third thing we did is like online um, film or performance, like filmed performance. We did that also. So we were filming with camera, and also it was, the story was about isolation too. So we were like doing solos, like monologues, solos, and then they will edit it together like movie. That
But
was
that was not on Zoom with audience, was it?
no, it was not on Zoom. It was
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, okay.
like
But it's interesting how we adopt, yeah. We have to adopt because we need change. Everything is changing all the time, and if you don't change, I mean, what to do then? Then we just sit down and wither and become sorry for ourselves, self-pity. But we need to bounce back somehow. I think, I mean, we really feel how connected we are, and also how much we need that interaction. Because I remember in May or April, I mean, the beginning, people were like, oh, and then you were like, okay, I don't want to go into all this. Who started it? Where is zero patient number one and China, whatever? All this, you get all black in your head. Yeah, it's like, oh, I want to have inspiring things. So I was going into the nature. I was taking films. I was taking photos, and then you realize people are so happy for it. Oh, thank you, because they were sitting in the flat. I mean, had a house 30 meters from the ocean, so I could go out, take film of that, and share it on Facebook. And people were like, wow, thank you so much. I needed that, and so it really shows how connected we are. Yeah,
yeah,
really, really interesting. And now it's a bit different in Denmark, but it's changing again. So let's see. I mean, for sure, it's not gonna stop tomorrow. It's probably one more year, yeah, and we have to find out how to change. And that leads me to my next question, because the one of the reasons why I'm talking to you, beside it's nice to talk to you, then I mean, you have been on two of my courses of this impact self-protection for women. And can you tell me, I mean, what happened? But I mean, why did you go first of all, and what changed afterwards? Maybe from the first course. And
yes.
why did you go? You went to Berlin, you said, right? I think it was Berlin. You said.
Which year was that? Maybe it was, well, it was after we first met, so we can somehow find out what it was. Was it 2017 or 2018? 18.
Yeah, maybe we were doing some bodyguarding for alarms together, and then you are inspired, and you used to do some sword working for your acting thing, right?
I met you during, I
I
met
remember we were training a bit.
you, we were doing some little trainings on the side
Yeah, yeah,
time, and I was interested also in like martial arts. I was trying to do something
yeah, yeah,
sword fighting, but you showed me like
yeah.
very precise and how to say that, uh, like working very well things. I remember that this is what I remember the best. I remember when you caught my little finger and you did something, and I was on the ground and you were holding just my little finger. I was like, wow, it's a magic, it's amazing. I want to learn that. And
Oh,
then
cool.
after this little finger action, I want to go for your course because it what when I observed, you can be very, like, you can be feminine. You don't have to become big bully to be successful, I mean to be effective, but you can
Mm.
use like your own abilities, your own body movement, natural body movement, body mechanics, and be very, yeah, very offensive or very defensive actually, because it's defensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I decided I want to learn that. You told me some things about your course also, and I'm not sure if I met already the people who were the girls who were on the course, but I remember I've got many. How to say that? I'm not, sorry for my English. Many recommendations of your course also from friends, girls who were on it. Yes, then I went there, and wow, where should I start? First of all, I was like expecting maybe we will work very hard physically, like we will do some push-ups or whatever. And I was surprised in a very nice way that we started on this psychological aspect on mental. And I remember we were doing this exercise with saying no. And there was a wonderful group of girls, and we realized that we, as the girls, are not used to say no. And actually, that we are not confident in saying no, even if in this group, when we are just practicing. So
yeah, it's powerful.
Situation, you are blocked. You're not saying no. And from this very first step of mental setup, to build our inner confidence. I remember that. And this first course for me was like empowerment. I'm always calling it empowerment, because it was like turning on some things which are already inside me, but they were quiet. They were not used. They were closed.
You were sleeping.
Or sleeping. You just
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's so nice to hear, because I mean, every time some girls are expressing what they feel, I get so inspired. I mean, it's like so nice to hear that it changes something. Yeah. But I was also thinking, how did this visualization of this inner warrior thing? What did you like about that? That's also like I heard that. How did it impact you?
I love it, and I think it somehow stayed in me. I mean, I'm coming back to it sometimes.
Oh, cool.
And it's still live. I remember precisely what happened then. And
wow.
Well, it was like spontaneous visualization, but then some things in my life happened, and I realized, wow, it was very meaningful. That it was this particular word. I will not say what was this, because it's
no, of course not. It's your private thing.
Then I realized, wow, it's really meaningful that this happened. This kind of visualization happened. It's not an accidental. It's like it's very deep. So I still remember that, and it's like it's the place where I like to come back when I feel like not secure or something. I can come back there. So it was also like giving some imprints, very strong imprints, awakening something. So I love it. And well, for me, there's no sense to work only on the body. So
no,
we work on every level, and your course is like that. We work on every level, like mind, speech, body, and mental, and with emotions also, and with feelings. Yeah, this is very important. That it's like all together. It's harmony in all you, of course.
So what's the difference between a course like that and training martial art in general, what you also did before?
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, the basic difference is, for example, I did a little bit of Krav Maga with the wonderful lady. She's Krav Maga master, and she's a very little lady, beautiful and totally killer. And I did some sword fighting with the big guys, and I always was like my side was pointing them, so they were my point of reference. I was trying to follow them and to imitate them, but on your course my side went inwardly, so I just
nice
inside myself and not copying you, but just trying to discover myself, my abilities, my power. And I discovered on your course that I have such a power in each of us. We started as feminine, soft ladies, and we ended like a beast on the first course, and the second was a little bit different, but maybe we'll tell later, because then we're beasts with dignity.
Yeah.
So that was,
Wow. That's awesome. That's so cool. I think also many women that also said they got so inspired to be with the other women and see how they grew. Yeah, this. I mean, I'm in some way I'm what do you call it? I'm making this atmosphere happening. I make the conditions for it, but actually I'm a spectator.
mm-hmm.
I'm putting in things, but actually I'm most because I'm a man, right? So I'm like looking at all these women and letting that energy happen. So I'm learning. I mean, I'm really learning a lot. So at the same time, I'm also the one coming with something, but I'm also learning all the time. And it's really interesting to be. I'm a part of it. I'm not just the one teaching. Yeah, I'm actually part of this whole home again. I have an idea, I have a thread, but I also have to adopt all the time because everything changes because somebody had an experience of something comes up from all times or whatever. And so for me, it's so exciting because it's never the same. It's always because it's human beings, and and then it's also fertilizing this whole atmosphere. So I'm thinking. You said something before that really triggered something. That was like, what do you think made it come from inside and not copying me? I mean, my teacher in Japan, Soka, he said, don't copy me. He always said this, don't copy me. Don't forget who you are, but go for the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I try to give. So if I manage to do that, I'm really happy because this is what we should do. Because we all have different bodies, right? And we even different sexes. So we should do it in our way. And how I mean, I'm not big and you're not big. So we have to do our body. But I'm still a man and you're a woman. So we have to adopt that. So this thing that what happened that you found inside? Was that the Feldenkrais method I used? Or what approach did make happen that make it happen inside you, that you follow your own instead of copying me? Do you know that?
Well, I don't know, like precise one thing. I think it was combination of all the things. But as a starter, I think it's
Okay.
combination with the warrior because I discovered that I already have it, which was I don't have to gain it from
Oh yeah,
somebody.
division. Yeah,
Now I just have to.
yeah.
And then for sure it was the training with the feeling of intention with the closed eyes and the knife thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Feeling the bad intention.
Yeah. But the feeling, who has the, who has the knife and you have to stand. Okay, let's explain for people. You stand in a circle. You stand in the middle, and someone has a knife. Yeah, and this person with the knife is doing a Hitchcock movie, like wah, wah, wah. Imagine they are with intention that they actually are cutting you to pieces, and you have to trust your gut, and then you have to find that one that has it. And if not, then you have to say, okay, what did you have a chill in the back? So maybe it was in the back. So maybe that's the person. So trusting your gut feeling, that's what you mean.
Yes.
That's the one you mean, right? Yeah.
That was for example for sure another piece of the puzzle of my looking at myself. Then the Spartan Christ too, like feeling body and like talking with your body, not forcing it to something, but first like talking and like with a child, please do it. Like you're asking your body to do something, to cooperate with you. It's not like you must do it because you're mine. It's like let's do it together. Like going through your body, like how to say that that you're spreading your consciousness in your body first, then together. That was the thing.
Your awareness. That's why it's called awareness through movement.
Okay. And you created the atmosphere of kind of loving each other or liking, loving, like being a group. I don't remember because I'm a very competitive person in general. I'm trying to, of course, work with that. I don't like it. I don't remember that thoughts and feelings on your course. I remember that I was challenging myself sometimes, like to be stronger, like to survive something, to be stronger. But I don't remember that I wanted to be better of some girls or something like that. I don't. You created this atmosphere that we are group, we are together, we are supporting each other, And somehow we felt, I remember when something happened, like emotional, somebody opened emotionally, or somebody had some moment when it was fighting more. I remember I was also feeling that, and we all supporting the one person. We are like one,
Yeah.
and the cells in the body. That
That's
was,
so beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, yes, that was for sure too. That's your, yeah, like you're one organ or one cell of big body, big plan, and you're just concentrating to work as much as well as you can to be together with the group. That was also.
That's so beautiful described, because that's actually what I want to fertilize, that you're putting our ego to the side. And actually, if competitive is nothing wrong with that, but you should compete with yourself. Because I mean, if you compete with yourself, you never stop learning. I mean, the rest of your life, you should keep on learning, and becoming, always be a student, right? So then we keep on learning, because if you compete with others, it's just an ego thing, and then you're fighting, and we actually don't want to fight. The whole thing is we're learning to fight, not to fight. And even in a real martial art, in the heart, we shouldn't fight, even in a fight. But that's kind of tricky. That takes some time. But it should be with compassion and this, that we actually are one. You said it so nicely. We are one. Doesn't matter. Even somebody is attacking us, we are actually one. And can we accept him as one? We can actually diffuse the whole thing, and we can even break his finger, take his eye, whatever. But we can actually make him reconsider. I mean, and then we're not. If we damage him with a feeling that we really want to hurt him, then we're also damaging our own mind. I really believe that we're making a seed for PTSD later. I just have this friend. I read his article recently, yesterday. He's Finnish guy. Really, he worked like 25 years in very hostile environment as a bodyguard in Russia and things like this. And he had to use a lot of violence. I did security also, but I did pharmacist different, but also work with security job. But it was after I learned Bujinkan. So I mean, before I learned Bujinkan, I was a fighter, I was a kickboxer, and that was like I wanted to hurt someone. But the Bujinkan is not like that. It's like you wanna de-escalate, you wanna control the situation. And he said in this article, he said he made a lot of scars in his own mind because he hurt people so much. But if you understand that we actually won, then the hurting that you're doing is on somebody is different. You understand that? I mean, I don't know if I explain it properly. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, there's three levels. I usually say there's this basic one, there's just the self-defense, boom, and then you have this the drilling, the military. You do the same drilling, and then you have the martial art. That's like the peak of the full potential of a human being. But these courses, of course, I'm teaching the basic, I mean, how to defend yourself. And that has to be aggressive. But you can do that on different levels. So can you explain, I mean, that's because the last course was a little different than the first course you were on. Can you tell me, what did you get out of it, the first course? What happened to you? What did you bring out of it?
Oh, well, for sure, some kind of strength or confidence stayed in me forever. It's like it was plugged once and it stayed. Sometimes, like you go for courses or some workshop or something, you're inspired for some time, like a period, 3 weeks or something, then it comes down again and you don't feel it. But this thing, I think it stayed. Now it came to my mind. It's a little bit shameful, but I have to tell it because it's like a proof. I remember when I was never arguing loudly. I'm not like a person who's shouting and throwing things, and I was always suppressing emotions. And then, of course, in the Buddhism, we learn like anger is bad, so I was trying to avoid it and so on. But sometimes, of course, it happened, it appeared, and I was suppressing it. But I remember after the course, several times I was like, "Pom!" opening things. And I remember even recently, I was like shouting, and I was then surprised. Wow, I have this kind of voice inside me. But what's important, this moments when I was like doing this like shouting, it was not it was like, actually we did something in the course, like to stop somebody with the scream, for example. You remember that? It's not like being angry and trying
to stop or fuck off,
saying something weird to like stop. And also it happened in my life, like privately. I did this kind of shout. And what's interesting, never the person who accepted this shout was never angry at me. That was interesting. But it's not about that. But this is one of the proof that something has changed forever. That I started to shout. I don't know if it would be good for my husband or somebody like that. It's changed. Are you still there? Because the videos has stopped. Ooh. Are you there, Philip?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm still here.
I'm asking. And the second,
I'm here.
maybe more important.
Yeah, can you see me?
It's like something had changed, I think, in my movement. For example, when I'm on the street and I don't feel secure, I feel like my body gets ready to get more flexible. It's like it's raising. It's not hiding, but it's
interesting.
That you should not move as a victim, because then you are paying attention.
Walk tall. Yeah.
And I remember I was working with the breath, and my body relaxes, actually gets more flexible to go through, not run away, but to be not provocative, but to be like settled.
Yeah.
This is the thing for sure. Yeah, what else? For example, yeah, I also remember very well these things with looking, like this is the first level of communication in the kind of dangerous situation. Look, and you have to be confident with your looking. Yeah, this is also what I remember, and I think I absorbed it. Yeah. How did I stop?
So it stayed with you.
Yeah, I think many things stayed, and now when I'm talking with you after these years, I feel that, and then
it stayed with you.
Yeah, definitely stayed with me. I still, when we are talking now, I still have like memories very fresh, and I feel it in my body. I'm ready to go for the course again.
Awesome. Cool. Oh, that's
for me. One course.
I think we should make a smaller course with maybe 18 girls, and then because I was always okay. Let's keep it private. I lost you.
Yeah.
Right there.
True.
Okay. I mean, actually, I never wanted to film it because I wanted to keep it private. And maybe this funny idea that I didn't want to share it, but this is stupid. This is like a limited mind instead of thinking big. Yeah. So how do you reach more people? How do you benefit more people? Because I'm one person. How can I mean, I couldn't have more than, the best course was like 10, 12 girls. Yeah. Because in the end you beat me up. And I mean, how many beatings can you get? That's one thing. And the other thing is, so how many can you get in contact with? Really show, maybe do it like this. Or what is happening to you now? Why? Okay, she's crying. Okay, things like this. So it couldn't be bigger. But how I could make it bigger was like film it, and you could also have the film afterwards, go it through, and one could share that films, and so more people can get things out of that. I mean, because I was thinking, this is very personal. I mean, it's a personal experience, one-to-one, in real life. How much do you think of this could be done virtually? Is it possible to do something like we do now? We talk, because I also talked a lot. I shared a lot of stories with these women. I mean, these women I taught for 3.5 years, those who's been in prostitution, beaten and raped, and all these crazy stories. There was bad stories, but there's also good stories. There was some empowerment story that they locked the door and the guy said, I'm gonna kill you. And she said, really? And she locked the door and started beating him up, and they were throwing around with each other. And the other girls came and they beat him up, and he ran through the glass door. Remember that story? This woman, she was like, she was just getting tired of men coming and robbing the place. And then he wanted money. And he said, we don't have any money. Then I'm going to kill you. Well, then she locked the door and said, really, you're going to kill me? And then she attacked him and he beat her down and she jumped up again, throw something at him. And then the other girls came, they started beating him. He got so scared. So he ran away, but he ran through the door. I mean, there was a glass door and he was bleeding all over the place. Yeah? And this is one of the good stories, you could say. And then there's really bad stories, because the bad stories are used as example of what can happen. This is not fantasy. This is not Hollywood. This is real life stories. But these stories, how do you like those stories?
I like them.
I mean, because there was a lot of these.
Yeah, it's very inspiring. And then you can have it as an example in your mind, in your own situation, or like absorb some strength from it. Like remember and then get some power. It's good to share this kind of stories. For sure, meditation could work. Like this imaginatory meditation could work through internet.
Yeah, this vision. Yeah.
That and fast could work for internet if you explain it and how they can do it. But it's for me, it will never be a substitute. Like it will never enough. Like
it's difficult.
The physical contact. You need this.
It's hard to do the little finger thing. It's hard to do.
Exactly.
The thing with the little finger is hard to do virtually. Yeah. But I think I'm now trying. I mean, with the women on this in the German WhatsApp group, we do this Zoom, and then I will see how it happens. What can happen? I mean, via the Zoom, and then I get an interactive tryout. Is it possible? So, but let's see. That's coming. But then you did that, and you had all this empowerment with you, and then you went to the other course.
Yes, sorry, I have to plug in my computer. Just a second, please.
Yeah, sure.
So yes, the second course.
Why did you go to a second course? I mean, it was the same place. It was this marvelous place in Berlin, this nice dojo. And then you went again. I mean, you went abroad. You went from Poland to Berlin. You went to you have to pay a ticket to get there, and you do it a second time. Why do you do it a second time?
Why?
Yeah, I had girls to do it 4 or 5 times, but why did you do it?
Well, for sure, I wanted to check, to try myself what stayed after the first course. And I remember that I wanted also kind of proof from myself that it was not an accidental, like it was not by chance. For example, the last fight with you, I really wanted to do it again. And like to prove myself that I still have power. It was not just one time shot. And I wanted to also see how what else I can understand. And I was not wrong, because you did some new things. It was not like repeating things. It was very refreshing, absorbing new things about this dignity. I remember that very well. So yeah, so what I wanted to say, it's like one course is enough because it's an empowerment, and you're like turned on and you can go and live better. But I think it's also, from the other hand, it's never enough. Like you can
it's both ends. Yeah.
Something in yourself, always learn something, because that
different
stories, different ladies, different atmosphere, mood, whatever, you can change, discover different things in your mind, especially mind, of course, body too. Yeah.
So what was different in this course, the second course? Because that was after I did this 3 months closed meditation retreat, and I also changed. I mean, I change every time. Everybody changes all the time. But after this one course, that was like, what was different? You remember that?
Well, it's hard to say. It was how to say that? We were more like a queens. Queens.
Queens?
Queens. No, yes. That before it was like from the little girl appearing the beast. Then it was more like to do the things, but with like it was more about controlling or being in touch with your state of mind while doing this. And I remember that also I wanted to repeat the fight because the first I remember that anger was driving me. I remember that I remember that I did something which I was regretting, which I didn't want to do because you were lying on the floor and I was already freed, but I still kicked you once, and I was ashamed of that because it was not
interesting.
just the expression of my anger or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wanted to repeat it, to have it different.
And
because I knew that I would somehow. First time it was so shocking to fight with you that even though I'm remembering that this is you, but you didn't look like you didn't smell like you, everything was different, and it was so oppressive that I was like not 100% sure if I survived, even though somewhere in my mind, but my body didn't know. I was not sure that I would survive. But the second time I was more calm because of course I had that experience before, so I knew I would, and I could do more. How to say that? Not planned because it's never planned, but more consciously the movement was So for sure.
Did you remember the last fight? How it was?
I remember the feeling. I don't remember exactly what the movement. Do you remember that?
I remember it was very short. You were like clack 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 boom.
Yeah.
This is it comes to my mind now. It was like you were not engaged. You were actually not engaging the fight. You were just stopping the shit.
Yeah.
It was like controlling, because the whole thing I wanted to share was, instead of having this military drilling and beast thing, I wanted to share this dignity. And that's what you were explaining so nicely with this queen that you were coming with as a queen, your dignity. I mean, having this dignity, controlling the environment. And that's what you did in the fight. I remember that. It was like, boom, boom, stop. I mean, it was very short, very precise. Do you remember this?
I remember.
I have it.
I'm in the middle of the situation, like in the middle of tornado,
Yeah.
Calm, and I'm just doing like the movement. I remember this.
Yeah.
Trying to get. It was not so emotional as the first time. And the first time,
No.
Tears.
Yeah.
I was like shaking. And the second time was more methodic. Can I say methodic?
Yeah, mental deep, you could say. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. English is not my first language either. Oh, that's cool. That's okay. That's cool because I mean, it's also, I mean, it's like constant evolving how to teach, and because we're all changing. So it's nice to have this feedback.
And I have one thing to share. I don't know. You can.
Yeah. No, please.
If it's to share it in the beginning for everybody, but I wanted to say that from my experience, this intentions, you're asking about intention for your warrior, what you want to develop. I think there's some impact in your private life later. I think it works. I think it's really like
cool.
It works, and it's not always pleasant. For sure. I remember that first, if I'm right, first I wanted to be courageous, and then I wanted to be disciplined, something like that. And then I had to do something with this in my life, with courage.
Wow.
Now I have discipline period, for example. And
cool.
And the first I had courage because I had to face some of my fears in life also. And then I remembered, maybe I will not connect those two if I would not have this kind of memory during some situation when I was facing my fear and struggling.
Yeah.
Then it came to my mind. I remember my wish from the course with Philipp. That was my wish. Now do it.
Wow. Oh, thank you for sharing that. I mean, that's from this one I have from Sheila Haddad. She was my mentor in exactly these things. She was a psychologist and also she's a very skilled martial artist and very good friend. And she gave me that stop exercises and these questions to ask, this visualization. This is from her. And the other things I built on, and I mean, built something else from what I have, but this I have exactly from her. And she would be really happy for hearing this, because to know that it's actually getting into your bones and your DNA, and you bring it with you. This is really awesome. But let me spin this off. I'm really happy, really happy that you want to share this, Ada. And I mean, can people contact you somewhere? Do you have a homepage, or do you have something that we can put underneath, something like that? They can see this wonderful actor that as you are. What?
I don't have my own page. I have just
yeah.
Page, and I have Instagram.
But you have an Instagram.
I have an Instagram.
Yeah. So we will put. Maybe you can say what's your Instagram? Is it easy, or should we write it? Do both.
Sorry again. Could you repeat?
Anyway, we will post it below, and then yeah, we will post it below your Instagram so people can follow you there, and hopefully your acting career will explode. I hope so for you. I mean,
yes.
That would be great. We all deserve abundance, right? So, and we have to find a way to cope. I mean, adapt, regroup, and overcome. This is the way to do it in these times as well. I mean, changes happens all the time. Yeah, life hits us. Doesn't matter what it is, and we have to change, or else I mean, what happens then? So I'm happy you shared it, and I want to close it off here. But really many thanks to you, Ada, and very best wishes for all of you, all success in all life, and be great and keep that inner warrior.
Thank you. I'm very happy to meet you and very happy to talk with you. And I feel very much of happiness now. I think something good.
Oh, cool. Okay. Excellent. Be safe and be aware. Yeah. See you.
Bye bye, Philipp. Thank you.
Bye bye.